Been up for a while, went on a morning walk, prayed during that walk. Much needed. There's nothing like walking, talking to God, reflecting, getting sun at the same time, and post-meal walk as well. I mean, talk about habit stacking. But I have more to say on that, and I have a lot of things I've been realizing, but I'm gonna head outside, have my coffee and my perfect aminos in my water as I talk to you about these things I've been realizing. Significant stuff. Making some instant coffee from Strong Coffee Company, and then we got some perfect aminos we'll put in this water bottle. Okay. Wow. This is amazing. Life is so good. With my Emergence coffee cup. Okay, what have I been learning? I haven't done a camcorder day in the life in about 4 or 5 days because I've been recovering from the run. I still have yet to post a 100-mile video reflection about what I learned from the run. I did a social media post about 11 to 12 things I took away from the entire 100 miles and what it gave me, but I want to do a video reflection, and I think it's much needed. So that will be coming soon, but I've been fully recovered. It took me a while to get there in my eyes, although to others it may seem like a fast turnaround. I think it took a while, especially my feet, and it made me realize that this run made me realize that my feet need to be stronger, and I need to get better shoes, and my ankles need to be stronger. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of feet strengthening, toe flexibility, and ankle mobility exercises so that come the next big run, my feet can tolerate more stress. And of course, as well, having better shoes that are more fitting to my feet, and most likely going to Fleet Feet, so I can see the best brand for my shoes that I need to get. So that's that. But what have I been learning? Life is very much, I always say, it's very much like a video game. And if you truly understand that, your eyes will be opened and you'll never be thinking the same again. But in way of chess, I've really been relating my life to chess, and how my chess game, the better it evolves, the better I get at decision making, and same with life. And with chess, I'm at this point where I need to learn more tactics on what end game I'm going to play when approaching every single game I'm playing, how I can better move tactically when in positions where I feel stuck, or how to think ahead so I don't get in positions where I feel stuck, and making sure I think twice before I move so that I make sure I'm making the right decision. But with this point in my life and where I'm at, the one big thing that is going to help me tremendously is going to be learning. And I've always been a lifelong learner. I always say it to you guys that reading autobiographies and biographies growing up has been the greatest thing for me. I feel like I'm underestimated in my ability to learn. Everything I do has been a retention of what the greats have done and an application of those things into my life. But even with some of the things I do, reading autobiographies and biographies, I did that before even anyone advised me to do so. I just enjoyed it. And what do you know? I'm listening to a podcast recently, and I'm not likening myself to Elon Musk, but they asked a Q&A of Elon Musk. They asked him, what would he do as a new entrepreneur to learn? What books would he read? And he said, biographies and autobiographies. That's what this podcast said. And so I find it so interesting. And so all that to say, my life is lifelong learning. Constantly asking questions, constantly recording conversations and taking notes on those conversations, constantly taking notes on my interactions, constantly reading. I love reading books, constantly watching movies, how those things apply to my life, constantly learning from real-time experience. That pressure molds me into who I need to become, and I can learn from the experience of what I go through in life and the failures that lead to further successes, because success is just a practical, real-time progression of an ideal, of an aim. And so failure leads you to greater successes, because from those failures you learn what to do better. So all in all, to say, I'm at this point where I want to lean into learning more, because I can feel myself leveling up. From this 100-mile run, I feel more present. I feel more calm. I see my life as though it went from like, I'm looking at it in a 2D lens to now like a 4D lens. And I'm more patient. I know I have time, but at the same time, I don't have time. Meaning like, I want to move urgently in what I need to do, but at the same time, I know I'm young. I'm 27 and I have this time to learn. I have this time to mold myself, because when the greater successes come, I will have been appreciative of the foundation I built, the foundation of knowledge I've built, and that there will be no cracks where things can slip through when greater successes come and as I progress in my age, because I've done the work to build the foundation at this age. And so I've gained this patience. Oh, and patience, once you truly understand it, patience is a beautiful thing. Being patient with others, being patient with yourself, being patient on your journey towards a realized aim in life. And I'm just so going to dive deeper and immerse myself in the things I need to learn. And what are those things I need to learn? Well, the things I need to learn are economics, business finance, and specifically within economics, microeconomics. I want to understand the human behavior of how things change the current day realities of a nation. It's people's actions that dictate what happens within a nation. It's not just numbers that float around and we don't know what to do and we don't know what's going on. Numbers and money and monetary policies and all those things are the language of human behavior within a nation. Get what I'm saying? The same way numbers are the language of business and math is the language of physics and the universe, of how things work, economics is like the language of human behavior, of what's happening in a nation. And so if we can understand those things, we can understand what's better happening within a quantitative snap of a finger. You can look at a ratio or you can see a number and say, okay, this is happening because this is a showing and an indicator of what humans are doing within a nation. And so that's another. I want to learn more of the basic frameworks and fundamentals of physics, because the more I understand that, the more I can apply it to my everyday life here in this video game. I don't need to become a master of physics. I'm not going to become a scientist, but I can better understand how the world works through learning those things. And of course, I'm learning chess constantly. That I told you why. It's helping me become a better decision maker and tactical thinker. And with that deliberate practice becomes even just more discipline in my life and being able to think ahead. And again, I'm not a genie. You know, I don't see God as an 8-ball who I get to decide what to do. No. But I can become a better decision maker and use the gift of my mind that I've been given to be able to think more clearly and better in how I engage with this life. And so those are the main things. And I've just had this rebirth of wanting to ferociously read again. Like early in my life, I read so dang much. And then when I got to, like, I would say the last year, so 2024, I took a halt because I was going through a lot of pressure within business and I had to focus on that. But now I feel this rebirth of wanting to read ferociously again and vigorously in all these topics, especially entrepreneurship and finance. So it's really cool. And then I'll say one last thing. And I appreciate you listening because I know I'm talking a lot, but these are huge realizations in my life that I want to document. The last and next thing I want to talk about is with this page. I took my consulting company that I have, Dapolito & Sons, with my brothers who are my partners and myself, and I took my YouTube page and looked at it as though I was a client of our consulting company, and I did a full diagnosis of me, who I am, what I'm doing, what I'm documenting, and I made it make sense because I use the same strategies we use for other clients to get guaranteed results and accelerated performance with their pages, with their brands, and I came across what is going to work for me. And so my full focus with my self is going to be my website and my YouTube channel. My website is something that's going to be the most perennial, evergreen thing ever. I've been building upon it since 2018. All my knowledge, all of my frameworks of thinking, all of my notes on the books I read, all of my essays, all of my writings, all of the quotes I've gathered all my life, my bucket list of what I want to achieve in this life. So I'm literally documenting myself in real time on that front. And then YouTube's going to be the other big one here, where I'm going to show you how I'm building my character. Because I've always had this idea lately to build this program called Character to help men improve physically, mentally, spiritually, and within their business. Obviously, because if they work on themselves internally, it'll translate to what they do in the real world, which is, in business and what they build. So you get yourself right mentally, physically, spiritually, you can get your external activities correct. So I decided to not use like a community builder program like school or something like that, but rather just build on YouTube and just document in real time how I'm building my character. Like I said, I love analyzing different characters throughout time, leaders, figures, people that I learned from. So I'm going to do analysis on characters. So in studying the characters, we can develop our character and become that character ourselves and take away from what they've done and apply it to our lives. So I have notes on all these different figures throughout my life, and we'll have renewed research in me making these new videos. So that'll be called the Character Club. So highlighting these different characters throughout history and learning from them. So we have building my character as real-time documentation, me doing these camcorder lifestyle vlogs, the Character Club, highlighting different characters throughout time to learn from them. And then it's like an aspect of me building my character in real time, just videos on mind, body, soul, and business. Like, that's just my focus. I realized like 2 years ago, I did a online writing course, one of the best, most profound, effective writing courses online. And it was with David Perel in the Rite of Passage. Got a scholarship to join, so I got a limited discounted price to enroll in this community. And it was the most beneficial thing I ever did. I learned how to write better, which forced me to think better, which is what I'm always trying to do. As you can see, even while I'm learning chess, how to think and learn and read and write better and think more clearly. But in taking that writing course, they helped you get very clear on your personal monopoly, meaning like your personal thing, your moat that no one else can touch. You monopolize that market, and meaning what you would post about online and how that'll be your thing, and no one else can interfere with that because you are your own unique soul individual. And the focuses you have of your content is the thing you love. Like, no one can take it away from you, and no one can interfere with that because you are you and no one else is you. So in going through the writing course and having this personal monopoly strategy and realizing more about myself during that time, I came across about 3 or 4 different aspects of myself that I wanted to focus my content on. One was books, one was entrepreneurship, one was physical endurance, physical fitness, and the other was spiritual. Like, I absolutely love the faith. I love Christianity. And so everything I'm building with this YouTube channel is finally, like years later, an accumulation, amalgamation of all those things. Like, again, this is the patience aspect of it in real time. You're seeing what I'm saying in that in 2023, the fall of 2023, I wrote down those things. And now 2 years later, in the fall of 2025, it's realized itself. And it's going to play out in the way of my YouTube channel. But it's all of those things combined. I love reading books. I love highlighting people. So we're going to do that through the Character Club. I love documenting myself and making videos. And that's going to be building character, building me, character Dap. And Dap, so you know, is just my like alter ego. It's my alter character. It's the guy that I tap into, that I want to become, that I say, this is the version of me that is wowed by even myself. Like, that's what I'm striving for, because everyone should have an alter character, right? You got David Goggins, got Goggins, you got Gary Vaynerchuk, got Gary V. Like, we all have this character, and we're all striving for more. And so that's the aim I'm developing for myself. I'm not even just with my bucket list or anything I'm trying to accomplish in life. I'm not looking after just one single thing. Although there's line items of things I want to accomplish, places I want to go, the greatest aim I have is the aim of building the best version of myself. Okay? And so just to wrap up what I was saying though, the last of the things that I loved that I came across from Rite of Passage was the physical endurance and spiritual learnings. And so that's going to be built out of my YouTube page through the categories of mind, body, soul, and business. And so you're seeing it. Like, what makes up the individual? It's their mind, it's their body, it's their spirit, okay? And then what they build in this life. Call it a business, call it an activity, call it a hobby, but I'll use the category of business. So that is everything of the human. That's the human experience. And I always believed, even when I built my previous company, Dream Big & Co., my slogan for that was improve yourself to impact lives. This is no different with what I'm doing now. It's just a recycling and a rebranding in a way of what I did previously. I'm showing you how I'm improving myself so I can impact the lives of others. And that's what this constantly is. Like, people who really care about the thing, if you look about all the great figures through time, they failed and failed and failed in building the thing, and then they built what they needed to. You can look at Phil Knight with all the businesses he built, Blue Ribbon, et cetera, led to Nike. You can look at Disney, all these different experiments, trials, et cetera, led to Disney, led to Disney World, Disneyland, Disney characters. Like, you'll never get it right in the first try, but it feels so good to see this application of how what I did before still applies now, and I'm just recycling what I've done before, and we're going to get it right, because this is the time. We're getting it right now, and it's going to manifest itself in the way of my YouTube channel and me building myself and showing you how I'm building myself to build my character within the categories of my mind, my body, my soul, my business. And then on top of that, I get to diagnose in real time figures of the past in the character club and what that'll be, so we can study characters to develop our character to become that character ourselves that we want for our lives, that we desire and aim for. Oh man, I'm so excited. Life is just a constant learning. But I have such clarity around what I want to learn, what I want to do, who I want to become. And you need the utmost patience when doing that. It is not going to come overnight. You need such patience. And that means relying on God, trusting in Him, trusting in His plan, and being open to whatever will unfold, because you got to be agile in your pursuit. I could be set in what I want to accomplish, but it might come about in a different way. Just like a boat sets its destination, its end destination, but you got to adjust the sails along the way. The same thing goes with our life. Grateful to be here. Thank you for listening. That is all I'm going to do with this camcorder vlog today. Feels good to speak it out loud and reflect on it and verbalize it. But now you know. Now you see it. Building in real time. People build companies in public. In real time, they'll build on X, they'll build on social media and these platforms. They call it building in public. Okay, so instead of me showing building my company in public, although there's a portion of that, like I'm showing you the behind the scenes of what I'm doing with my companies, I'm showing you how I'm building me. I'm building me in real time. That's fun. That excites me. And I can't forget, one of the other categories within the YouTube channel that is going to be established is the adventures of Character Dap. You know what's amazing too about that? Like, I grew up making comic books with one of my best friends. He was the illustrator, I was the author. And I loved video games, right? I loved this fantasy world. Like, I love playing with my friends. Like, I'm doing no different now. The adventures of Character Dap. I mean, it sounds like a video game. It sounds like a character in a book. But it's me in my life, and I get to have fun and play for my work. Like, you see how amazing this could be, building out this YouTube channel. I'm the Adventures of Character Dap is one of the playlists on my channel. And it's amazing too how it's built up to this point, and I didn't even realize all these things I was doing in the past, all these adventures I took, these travels and these physical feats would serve a purpose for what I'm doing now. But it's all connected, because I'm constantly thinking, what can this be used for? What can this be used for? And then God implants an idea in your head and you run with it, and it makes it click. But all my life since, I've been documenting in the past, and that's good vibrations, because there's a bee flying around me right now. Love to see it. The bees if they can maintain around you and not sting you, it means you have good vibrations. So, what's up, B? That's a great sign. And it just landed on me. That's a beautiful thing. Let's go. Oh, let's go. Look at that. But the Adventures of Character Depth. Since 2018, I showed you my adventures in Iceland of going around Ring Road. I showed you all my races, from my half marathons to my marathons to my 100-mile run, like all these things. And so I'm going to keep doing that. And then all these physical feats I do, I'm going to document all of them, and I'm going to even in more detail, because this 100-mile run was just a live stream. But what if you got to see the training behind the scenes and all the things I did leading up to it? Like, it was, I took this video making more intensely and even more serious. You're going to see the adventures of my travels. You're going to see the adventures of me building things. Like, that's awesome. That is so awesome. And so I had to highlight that and make sure I didn't leave that part out of what I just told you guys. But thank you for making it to the end here.